All right, everybody. Just going to make sure our live stream is started here real quickly. Just give me 1 second and we'll get started here. I believe it has. All right. Good evening, everybody. It is nearing the end of our snow day, January the 10th, 2025. So if you're watching this recorded, version, this is on Friday, January the 10th. Right now, as we're posting this, it's just a little after 8 o'clock. So hope you're doing okay this evening. Hope you're someplace very warm and where you need to be, because the roads are not going to improve much at all as we head through the nighttime hours. Still a little bit of mixed precipitation out there, but temperatures are hovering just a little bit above freezing in spots. That will change overnight. So again, any areas that have become slushy will become icy again. And again, that's going to be a big problem heading through the overnight hours, is the ice refreezing. And I don't see much improvement tomorrow. I really don't. I think temperatures will, get above freezing for a little while. Some main roads may have some improvement, but maybe a little late day sun, but we're going to be barely above freezing. I think many areas north, higher elevations will stay below freezing, and even some flurries still flying around during the day tomorrow. It won't signify another round coming in, but it's just going to be very cold. So first of all, let's look at the temperatures out there. This is, again, as of this posting, 8 o'clock. In the city, right around 33. I was, kind of out and about driving around about an hour ago, and where we are on Highway 58, a little slushy but passable. I would imagine a lot of the main roads are like that, but it has responded to, first of all, the brine and salt treatment the crews put out, and the fact that temperatures are just a degree above freezing. So again, the salt and brine kind of lowers the threshold for the freezing. So that helped keep things much better, much passable. The roads were a little bit better than they were when I was driving late this morning. Snow and ice covered. I have an all-wheel drive, but made it just fine. But still, you can see where it could get a little slippery without that traction. Temperatures north of the city, kind of upper 20s, right around the 32-degree mark. And look at that wind coming in from the southeast. You follow those streamlines there, you can see that wind coming in from that general direction, off to the north and east. Let me get that line. There we go. Coming in from that direction. And that's the reason why temperatures have jumped up a bit. Eventually, during the night, we'll get a wind coming back in from the north, and that'll mean the temperatures back down, but it'll take a little while to get there. So still some refreezing will occur on the roadways. Let me back up one graphic here, and we'll give the highlights heading into the weekend. Let me say good evening to a couple folks out there. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Gary, Gail, Lori, Tanya, and Marcia. So feel free to post your comments there, and I'll try to get to some of your questions that you have. Overall, I thought the system today behaved on the timeline we expected. And, anytime you're dealing with a wintry system, it is always tricky. But I thought this one behaved rather well based on the guidance we have from computer models in the past couple of days. We expected the first half to be snowy, then that second half, that mix would come in, and eventually it did. And we saw that switch over from snowflakes to raindrops and sleet, and then temperatures again for many city and south got just above freezing. So that was overall the timeline worked out well. I think the average total locally, and I'll show you some of the totals, was around 3 to 4 inches. There were a few spots a little bit higher than that. Got up above 5, but they were kind of more isolated. But we're still seeing at least some snow showers out there now, and I'll show you the radar in just a few minutes. But as we approach the weekend, here are our headlines here. The overall mixing we're seeing tonight will gradually taper off. As I'll show you, I still think tomorrow, Saturday, we'll see flurries flying around, but not adding or making anything worse. Okay. We're going to be back below freezing overnight. Many of you already are. So anything that became slushy becomes frozen over again. Even the treated roads can become frozen. So Saturday, temperatures mid-30s, maybe upper 30s. I don't see much of that. I think everybody's going to stay mainly just barely above freezing. So not much improvement overall, not much melting. There'll be a little sun afternoon and maybe, do some work as far as melting. But look at Sunday morning. Those temperatures in the teens. Again, that means some refreezing on roads and still no improvement for secondary untreated roads and those that are shaded. We will get a little more sun on Sunday, and temperatures up around 40. So that'll be some thawing. But again, with temperatures in the 20s Monday morning, there's still going to be some secondary roads that do not improve all the way through early next week. So this event is going to be rather long lasting, even long past the time the precipitation comes down. All right. So we got folks watching from Bridgeport, watching from Athens, Chatsworth. Hello, Gary. Hello, Gail. Hello, Lori. Hello, Rhonda from Ducktown, where they're still getting snow. Want to understand. All right, temperatures right now in the lower 30s area wide. The winter storm warning is still in effect through tomorrow morning. Even though precipitation is winding down, it's the travel hazard. The reason why, winter storm conditions will stick around through at least tomorrow morning. And again, not much improvement through the day, but that's the extent of the warning. So let's look at some of the snowfall estimates. And as you can see, these are all official National Weather Service storm spotter reports. So they're all over the place. We'll take a look at a few of those. Also in the background, you can see the pockets where the snow is a little bit the highest. A little bit lower in the lighter blue, the darker blue, kind of in that 3 to 4. Down in here is where the snow really overperformed for a little while. It was kind of a swath that went through here, and even areas like downtown Atlanta. Atlanta was not projected to get much at all. They got several inches before it all turned to rain, but it made it a mess there in Atlanta, as it always does. But for us, again, I think in the city, 3 to 4 was an average. And again, a little bit higher off to the south and west. So let's take a look at some of those totals, shall we? Let's zoom in, first of all, in and around the city. And let's see. Let's check some of the reports that have come in later rather than sooner. Okay, this is around the mid part of the afternoon. Bradley County and Cleveland, around 3 inches. Let's see. We'll check this one. Is that an early report? That was from earlier today, so it's well over an inch. That was just the initial report. Some of these are like that. There's not in chronological order. Let's see. That was from earlier today as well. Let's check this one. Yeah, Jasper initially had 3. It's probably 3 to 4 there, I think, before everything was said and done. Southern part of Sequatchie County, I think this one was around 4 inches. That's in the Cartwright area. South of Dunlap, about 4 inches. That was reported around 3:30 this afternoon. A little bit of ice, sleet on top of that. Some of the higher totals were actually here, as I just mentioned, in Jackson and DeKalb County. I think this report, is this the right one? Okay, that was from 11 o'clock this morning, but 3 to 6 inches was very common in this part of DeKalb and Jackson on Sand Mountain. Yeah, that's still from early this morning. Then we had a report there. Let me find that report. It wasn't that one. That's 3.5. There was a report there of 5 inches that was in Jackson County. I believe it's up here. Yeah, it's near Eider. Yeah, 5.5 inches there in the Flat Rock area. So that's where they got that nice little burst right there and got some heavy snow totals there. But overall, I think locally the system behaved. It didn't pull too many surprises out there. We got the morning snow and then the mixing that went on during the afternoon. Let's check a few other of these totals here. Let's go out here, Eastern McMinn. Was that this afternoon? Yeah, there's Etowah, about 3 inches that reported at 6 o'clock this evening. So that's a kind of a late day report. Let's check. It's over near Charleston there. Yep, late this afternoon, around 3 inches there. So again, in and around the immediate metro, 3 to 4 is very common. A few areas got, close to 5 in some pockets there. That was very common. Over in here, western parts of Cherokee County. Let's see this one. That was earlier in Hot House. They sent another report this afternoon. I think that came in close to 4 inches there. Yeah, 3.5. And that was before it changed over to sleet. And that was about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And again, some of these, you have to check the time on them. Some of these were earlier in the day reports. Let's check up here in Spring City, northern Ray County. Yeah, that was from about 2 o'clock this afternoon, 2.5 inches there in Spring City. As you can see, the lighter shade of blue, these amounts are kind of in the 1 to 3 area, 1 to 3 zone. Let's see, this is in Riceville, about 3.5 inches. In Chattanooga, officially, the total was 3.3 at the airport. So We projected 2 to 4 in the city, got 3.3. I'll take that as a win any day. But it's worth noting that the average annual snowfall in Chattanooga is 3.6 inches. So we got nearly a season's worth all in one day, and that's very typical. Every time I talk about the winter forecast, it's so hard to project whether it'll be above or below average because all it takes is a day like today to give you an entire season's worth. You can't say that for areas farther north where they get 20, 30 inches of snow a year. So for us, it's a little bit rare, but indeed almost a season's worth of snow all in one day. But for many of us who like snow and everybody wanted a snow day, this is what you wanted. And it's great to see. A lot of folks are happy. Kids are sledding, but by all means, when you're out there sledding, playing in the snow, please do so safely. All right, seeing some other totals here. Let's see. Beth says about 3 inches in Rossville. And here's Blake says in Flat Rock, they got about 6.5 inches. So, yep, that's that area. That's the sweet spot there. They got quite a bit. Let's see. Rhonda says about 6 inches southern Catoosa. Let's see. Dayton. Gail says Dayton about 3 inches there. So again, 3 to 4 was the more common amount. Lana says 4 inches in Madisonville. Let's see. Carl asks, will it be safe to drive downtown to East Brainerd tomorrow at 9 a.m.? Just be careful if you do drive. Main roads might be okay, but still being below freezing, I'd be careful driving tomorrow morning, even on main roads. Just take it easy. Blake asks, models showing something around January 22nd. What am I seeing? Well, Blake, that's 12 days out. And I've looked at a lot of long-range models, but anything beyond 7 days is a hypothetical. So we just look at the overall pattern, which is going to be cold. So when it's cold, we have to watch for moisture. We'll just have to wait and see. But something 12 days out on a computer model, I don't really bring up that much because, again, those are just computer hypotheticals. We'll keep an eye on that, watch a trend, but it'll probably disappear with some model runs and then try to come back. But anything beyond 7 days, I don't give it much thought. We'll just watch things. But some of those long range models, you can't go by that. You just watch for trends. Models are just for guidance. They're not the gospel. For those of you who watch the computer models with this event, you know what I'm talking about. Many models had it way over on the amounts. Some were way under, and it was kind of hard to navigate. So we had to really come with that, 2 to 4 around the city, kind of knowing what the models have historically done to keep that forecast there. So, but Blake will watch that in the trends for later on and, watch that. So anything's possible in this cold pattern. So we'll just have to watch it. Let's see. Ann says 5 inches in the New Salem community on Lookout. Marcia says 3 inches in Dalton. All right. Well, let's go to our next map here, which is going to be the radar view. And we'll show you what's happening out there. Very little at the moment. Now, with that said, out your window, you may still be seeing some snow showers out there, and it's very possible. When you're dealing with a pattern like this, sometimes the radar does not depict it very well, especially when it's very light. That's the base reflectivity. What I'm going to do is turn on the NowRad, which expands it out just a little bit, and you can see that it shows it up a little bit better. So you can still see some off and on snow showers. The really deep moisture has now exited off to the east, so it's really deep out here to the east of us. But still, parts of Cherokee, Clay, Eastern Monroe, Eastern Polk. So again, some snow showers there. Same thing in Fannin County. Even around the city, some flakes flying around at times. So again, it's kind of breaking up. It's not quite as heavy as it once was. And this will kind of gradually wind on down through the day tomorrow. But I still anticipate tomorrow occasional flurries at times. Again, it's not going to add much more to the totals out there, but don't be surprised to see that. I still think tomorrow's going to be a very wintry day, cold, cloudy, and occasionally those flurries flying around. So we'll still have these going on off and on as we go through the evening hours and overnight. But as you can see farther back to the west, it's kind of winding down. So not the heavy accumulating type like we had earlier on today. Here's a little bit closer view. I just had, see who, somebody just posted there was some of that still occurring in Kimball, and you can see some of those little snow bands making its way through Marion County. So yeah, a few spots still seeing that. And this is just a close-up view of the radar. Athens, Sutico Plains, seeing some snow showers there. And then there's the wider view. You know, that little bit of warming we got, that's because of the southerly wind right here. If you look back here, the wind's starting to come in now, shifting to the northwest, and that's going to bring in the cold air overnight. So any bit of warming, and I would just mean by higher temperatures, it's in the low and mid 30s, it'll quickly go back below freezing later on to the night as that colder, drier air comes back in. For many of you, you're already below freezing now. There's a full scope of our system. There's our low that we've been tracking for so long, moving along the Gulf Coast. It took more of that southerly track, which again kept us in that sweet spot for snow a little while longer. If it had taken more of a northerly track, you'd have had lesser snow, but the southerly track kept us in the more snow. And again, why our totals were quite impressive. It's going to make us way up the mid-Atlantic and eastern seaboard as it exits off the East Coast. For us, the clearing line's way back here. So tomorrow, it's still going to be cloudy and cold, but see this little dashed line? That's an upper level trough. That's kind of like a front. When it comes on by, it's going to wring out the atmosphere of any available moisture. And that's why I think tomorrow you'll still have some pockets of flurries and occasional light snow shower off and on tomorrow. So let me stress again, on Saturday, you'll still see flurries flying around. Okay, so but as far as the mixing and the heavy amounts like we had today, that's starting to wind on down. So here's our future track going through the overnight hours. This takes us through early tomorrow morning, 7:15. So this is why travel is still going to be treacherous. Okay, temperatures in the 20s to around 30. And again, there's those pockets of flurries, the snow showers still around. And again, that'll stick around through early afternoon. You'll still occasionally see flurries flying around. So still a wintry day tomorrow, not to the same extent as today, though. And temperatures, you know, barely getting up to the mid to upper 30s. For me, the higher elevations, you'll stay below freezing. All right. And then this is overnight tomorrow night and Sunday morning. Again, it's going to refreeze in many areas. Teens, lower 20s. But late day on Sunday, temperatures do thaw a bit, around 40 to the low 40s. And notice by then also that south wind starts coming back. So it's coming in from the south and starting to warm things up. I mean, it's not really warm to feel. It's just warmer than it was today. And then through Monday morning, it's back down to the 20s early. Let me back that up. That pause point kind of stopped there. So there's Monday morning, still to upper 20s, low 30s. So I do anticipate there'll still be some areas that will be dealing with some areas still frozen over. And then highs on Monday, you know, getting up to the low 40s. So getting above freezing, but there'll still be many secondary roads, even by Tuesday morning, still sticking around. So again, that's still going to be an issue heading through early next week. So here's the day planner tomorrow. I've still got flurries on there. It's going to be cloudy, cold, maybe a little afternoon sun, but there'll still be flurries flying around, upper 20s and mid 30s. That's about it. And as I mentioned, higher elevations are going to stay well below freezing. So let me show you those headlines for the weekend one more time, just to, you know, so you know, hazardous travel is still going to be a big, big problem. I do anticipate temperatures barely getting above freezing Saturday, back to the teens Sunday, and near 40. So a little more thawing on Sunday, but these snow and ice covered roads are going to be a big, big problem. So please travel safely this weekend. And I still think, again, we'll see flurries off and on during the day tomorrow. Here's one more look at the radar view. And let me turn on the other wider radar view so you can see this a little bit better. There we go. So yeah, there's still pockets of flurries and snow showers out there currently at this moment. So that's going to continue kind of off and on till about midnight, kind of gradually winding on down. You know, let's see other comments here. Let's see. Hello, Roxanne. Hey, Beth. Hey, Amy. Hello, Tanya. Yes, Tanya mentioned that today it snowed on the same day in 2011. This is true. I was checking that. That's a true statement there. Let's see. Blake says, yeah, Blake, I know that saying, you know, snows on the ground for 3 days is waiting for more. Yeah. I knew someone would say that at some point. People will start saying that on Sunday, definitely. Sunday and Monday. We'll see. Connie says, Grandview, 4 inches. So again, that 3 to 4 has been very common. Thank you, Connie, for that. All right. So I hope everybody, again, is staying warm tonight, and just stay safe this weekend. Again, if you're going to be out playing in the snow, please do so safely. And if you're going to be driving around, understand that with more people outside playing in the snow, maybe sledding, sliding around, there's going to be more pedestrians in and around the streets. So you travel safely and be aware of that as well. All right, my friends, thanks so much for watching tonight. We'll have our Fox Chattanooga newscast coming up after basketball. There's college basketball on tonight. And we'll be on News Channel 9 at 11, and then we'll call it a night. Now be sure to tune in bright and early on Saturday morning. Bill Race will be here, and he'll keep you updated on what's happening on Good Morning Chattanooga. And again, he'll be talking about cold for Saturday, and again, a few flurries flying around and the continued travel issues. All right. But thanks, everybody, for chiming in today throughout the day. I appreciate all of your reports coming in across the area, all the pictures you guys have sent in, and we'll show some of those in the newscast as well. All right, everybody, have a great night. We'll see you on the newscast at 10 and 11. Have a great but safe and warm weekend.